Cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance is the uncomfortable feeling one gets when their beliefs or actions are inconsistent. This principle occurs many times throughout the TV series Friends. When Monica and Chandler begin their romantic relationship, they initially keep it a secret, even though they desire to be honest with their friends. These inconsistencies show how inner conflict and discomfort come from cognitive dissonance. Impression management. The attempt to control perceptions and judgments about ourselves by others is impression management. Joey fashions himself to be a confident ladies' man but does not always feel that way. Chandler likes to appear aloof and uninterested and uses sarcasm and humor to manage others' impressions of him. Rachel was desired to present herself as successful and sophisticated despite having had many career changes and setbacks. Impression management is a way to cope with insecurities and to present ourselves in a way that is more appealing to others. Social influence is the process that goes through our minds as we try to make sense of ourselves and others' thoughts, feelings, and intentions in context. These social influence principles include normative influence, informational influence, predictors of conformity, persuasion, obedience, and group processes. Normative influence is related to persuasion. This type of influence is how an individual conforms to the expectations of a group to fit in and be accepted. Chameleon effect is one psychological theory that explains normative influence. The chameleon effect is also known as non-conscious or social mimicry. When in a discussion, people often mirror each other's mannerisms. A study by Tanya Chartrand and John Varg found that people mimicked each other to be liked better. This type of influence was seen in friends through their clothing and appearance. For example, Rachel's haircut becomes a styling icon. Informational influence. When individuals conform to the opinions and behaviors of others to be accurate and relevant, it is an informational influence. Emotional expressions significantly impact attitude formation and change. These emotional expressions fall into the principle of informational influence. This type of influence possibly results in individuals using others' emotions as information on to base their opinions. An example of information influence in the TV series Friends can be seen in how the group solves problems, learns from each other and others, adopts new behaviors, and seeks advice. In one episode, Joey and Chandler attempt to teach Ross how to flirt with women. They offer their advice, and Ross resists. But after he sees their success with women, he reconsiders taking their advice. Predictors of conformity are complex social processes that play a role in shaping behavior, attitudes, and belief. Behaviors such as social norms, group membership, social comparison, and a need for acceptance are predictors of conformity. Deutsch and Girard's research compared situations of conformity to group pressure and situations of conformity. They found that participants who commit to their initial judgment decrease conformity to group pressure. When no prior commitment was made, they found that people were more likely to succumb to the conformity of the group. One example of the need for acceptance is when Rachel decided to take up smoking to fit in with her coworkers. Her behavior indicates the power of the need for acceptance, as smoking is a habit she usually would have no part of. Persuasion is the use of communication to change someone's opinion. That is the process of persuasion. Persuasion can be exhibited through behaviors and situations such as arguments, influence, personal appeals, and manipulation. One time, Rachel was jealous of Ross dating another woman. This woman used to have her head shaved, but now had long hair and looked much more attractive. Rachel persuades the woman to shave her hair off again. This influence is an example of persuasion on the show Friends. Obedience. Obedience happens when people follow orders from a person in authority. Social comparison in the form of compliance with authority and learning how others follow social norms explain most instances of conformity. Various types of obedience are displayed on the show, including work-related, group, and parent-child obedience. We see the characters throughout the series obeying their bosses and their parents, and even being in an authoritarian position as a parent themselves. Group processes. The way people interact with and influence each other within a group is group processes. This process includes social identity, group cohesiveness, group communication, and group decision making. Rose Malidi states that intergroup contact reduces prejudices by bringing groups together under favorable conditions. Chandler often feels like an outsider in the group. He tries to remedy this by using sarcasm and humor to fit in. In his attempts for approval, he often puts women down. This behavior changes when he begins dating Monica. Although the main characters are predominantly white, middle-class Americans, the show has features characters from diverse backgrounds. The show highlights the importance of respecting diversity and treating others with empathy and kindness. Social relation concepts such as love, aggression, prosocial behavior, group behavior, and social dilemmas have been central to social psychology research for decades. Learning about social relationships principles is essential for understanding how we love, grow, get along, and solve problems with each other. Attraction and love. Factors that lead to attraction, love, formation, and maintenance of relationships are proximity, physical attractiveness, similarity, competence, and being liked. When people become more likable or attractive to others, when when they show vulnerability or make a mistake, it's called the Pratfell effect. When a person makes mistakes, they appear to be more relatable and human, therefore more likable. An experiment done by Ben Willerman and Joanne Floyd found that when a person of superior status commits a blunder, they are rated as more attractive. This experiment shows that although competence increases likability, so does a certain degree of humanness. Research by Whitchurch shows that when we do not know if someone likes us, we think about them liking us more. Some examples of attraction and love seen in Friends are the various times the main characters were attracted to each other. And aggression. One social theory about aggression is relative deprivation. Feelings of relative deprivation can lead to negative emotions, even if the situation is reasonably objective. Relative deprivation results in perceived unfairness, which can lead to aggression. Feelings of envy and frustration are a natural response to our circumstances. One experiment by Sarah Brosnan and Franz de Waal allowed capuchin monkeys to be rewarded with cucumbers. Capuchin monkeys like cucumbers, but they love grapes. Another set of monkeys was rewarded with grapes in front of the ones who received the cucumbers. The monkeys perceived unfairness and felt the reward of the cucumber was an insult. The monkey who received the cucumbers, after seeing the other group getting grapes, threw the cucumbers at the researchers. Mindfulness of our perceptions and comparisons can help us learn greater emotional intelligence and well-being.